Welcome back to In Focus. I'm your host, Thuy Phan. Before the break, you got a chance to go behind the scenes and learn more about olives and a centuries-old way of handling them. In this segment, we'll take you back to another favorite of Ontario known as Logan's Candies, where they also make candy canes the old-fashioned way. When the little clock that hangs in Logan's Candy Store strikes 30 past the 5 o'clock hour, something magical happens. Jerry Raleigh brings candy canes to life.
My mom only allows me to eat, like 1 or 2, but sometimes I secretly eat 6.
There's a little bit of corn syrup in the bottom of the kettle there. Now she's going to add some sugar. The mixture is about 80% sugar and 20% corn syrup. And then a little bit of water. She's going to add some water. Okay. You'll see as you watch the kids and the people watching us make the candy, they're equally, well, they're amazed, especially if they've never seen it before. And just to watch it start out as a big yellow blob, and then at the end, as we're pulling out the candy canes, it's just, it almost seems unreal the way it happens. So, but it's a lot of fun, and everybody loves it, and we try to make everybody enjoy it and have a good time. We give out free samples, and just kind of have a nice holiday time with the whole process. You know, people that have been coming to watch almost every night since the beginning of November, and we have about 3 groups a night that come down and actually watch us make the candy canes. Booked groups that come down, and Cub Scout groups, homeschool groups, church groups, and they all come down and book ahead of time to come in and watch us make the candy canes. So, and it may seem like it's going to run on your feet, but I promise it won't. Okay, what we have here is a mixture of sugar, water, and corn syrup, and it's been cooking for about 40 minutes, 45 minutes, and was a little bit over 320 degrees when we put it on the table here. So now, as you can see, I'm folding it in and just trying to keep it all one temperature. You can see the outside edges were a little bit set up already. So we're just going to keep folding it for a few minutes till it gets cool enough that we can be able to handle it. We're going to add a little bit of flavor and a little bit of color, and hopefully in about 20 minutes we'll have some candy canes out the other side. So hang on, here we go. Okay, as you can see, it's cooled down quite a bit already. So what we're going to do now is we're going to divide it into 2 separate pieces. We're going to have a smaller piece that we're going to add some coloring to, which will be our red part of the candy cane. And then the bigger piece that we're going to keep is going to be our white part of the candy cane, which will be kind of the bulk of it, or the main part of it. So this bigger piece, this is going to be the white part of our candy cane. The smaller piece will be the red part. Okay, so we're going to add a little bit of red coloring to our small part of the cane here. That's just a little bit of a gel paste food coloring. I think a lot of people, just as they're growing up, it became a family tradition for them to either come down and watch us make the candy canes or come down just and buy them and some of our other candies. And even just the, you know, we've been making candy canes since 1933 here, and even just the way, the whole, what candy canes stand for, what the, you know, why they're made at Christmas time, all of that kind of comes into playing of a long-time tradition of the holiday. It's still probably in the excess of 180, 190 degrees or so. Obviously a lot hotter in the middle than it is on the outside, but I mean, if I didn't have these gloves on, it would be definitely too hot to work with. So get a little bit of red on me. As you can see, I've got my red gloves, so now we're down to the serious work here. And we're just going to begin a series of folds until we get this red nice and mixed in, so it's all one color. And we're going to continue to keep this stacked up so it doesn't get too cold. Our key here is we're just trying to maintain a nice even temperature. And then after a few minutes we'll take all this over to the heater and still keep it nice and warm. And then after a few minutes, we'll put the stripes together and start to pull out candy canes on the other end. I've been doing it long enough now, you kind of learn a few ins and outs, how not to get burnt, but yeah, you do have to be careful. And it looks kind of cool as I'm working with it, but it actually is very, very hot. So that's most of the reason for the gloves, for the heat. And you have to work kind of quickly for two reasons. Number one, you want it to keep warm and not cool down too fast, but it also gets a little sticky. So it may look like I'm working real fast, but I'm just trying to keep my hands from sticking to it, because it can be a little bit on the sticky side. You see all these separate pieces, and it doesn't ever look like it's going to come together, but in the end, it all comes together in a nice, pretty candy cane. And there's our red. I'm just going to take it over the heater here to keep it nice and warm. Yeah, this is kind of keeps your sinuses clear. When the if a little bit spills out, just a drop or two, and then it gets real, real hot from the heat, it kind of turns into a vapor. So that's why the smell will be so strong and good, kind of enough to make your eyes water, make you cry. Okay, now if you guys watch carefully here, can you smell the flavor now? And here we go, ladies and gentlemen, there it is, the big giant candy cane. Thanks for coming. Merry Christmas. See you next year. No? Just kidding. How about this? This is what I call putting my heart into my job for you guys. Well, okay, now we're going to put it on the hook here. And this is how we're actually going to turn it white. Nope, no special flavor or coloring added. And you can see with each pull it just gets a little bit lighter. So it's a combination of we're adding a little bit of air to it, but we're also just stretching out the sugar crystals. And that's what causes it or creates it to turn white. And then a little Candyman magic, of course. This is about 17 pounds. The whole batch is about 20 pounds, and it's about 80% sugar, 20% corn syrup. But what I have here is about 17 pounds, and she's got about 3 pounds of the red in front of the heater. Well, if we make our smallest size, it's going to make about 400. Or one big one, and we go home early. So you can see it's just getting lighter and lighter with each and every pull. So you can see it's very, very light at this point, just about the color we need. A few more pulls, then we'll take this over to the heat, and we'll start to put all the stripes and everything all together. One more time. Okay, now this red thing I'm working behind right here, this is just a heater. It's a gas flame heater. We're not trying to hide anything. We're just trying to keep the candy nice and warm. We're going to show you what we're doing out here and just back here in just a minute. In the meantime, if you'll take a look at all the candy canes on the window up here, if you look real close, you'll notice that they all have two things in common. They all have 5 little stripes, and they all have 1 big stripe. Now that's kind of our trademark here at Logan's. At Christmas time, all our candy canes start out with the 5 little stripes and 1 stripe pattern. And that's what we're putting together behind the heater here. This is actually going to make up our 5 little stripes, just like you see in all the candy canes up here. Can everybody see that? That's going to be our 5 little stripes. And then the second piece I'm going to show you right here, this is going to make up our 1 big stripe. Just like you see in all these candy canes, that's going to be our big red stripe. Sorry, Katie. Okay, this first piece that I showed you, I'm going to begin to stretch it out. And when we get it just the right length, we're going to cut it into 5 equal pieces. And that's going to make up our 5 little stripes, just like we were telling you about. Now, we've been putting 5 little stripes and 1 big stripe on our candy canes since 1933. All right, if everybody will look right up here, you can see now that we put together our 5 little stripes right here. Can everybody see that? There's our 5 little stripes. There you go. And then does everybody remember what this one right here was? That's our big stripe. And then, of course, right here we still have our giant breath mint. Just kidding. Okay, now we're going to take our 5 little stripes, and we're going to put it right here on top of the block, just like so. Then we're going to take our big red stripe and we're going to place that right on the other side of the block here, just like that. So now, as you can see here, on this side right here, we have our 5 little red stripes. Can everybody see that there? There's our 5 little red stripes. And then on this side right here, we have our 1 big stripe. Well, we always tell people once they've seen it, you can go home and try it out in your kitchen, but it's a kind of a long process. It looks a little bit harder than what it looks. So we recommend you can go try it, but most people, I think, you'd have a hard time making it in your kitchen at home. I'm just going to put a little hole in there at the back right there. And we're going to place this first piece right in the back, and we'll pull that out a little bit later in the batch. All right, if everybody will watch right here very carefully, I'm just going to begin to pull this out here. Give it a little pull. Give it a little tug. Give it a little stretch. Pulling, tugging, stretching. And when we get it just about the right length and thickness, we're going to give it a little twist. And if you watch real carefully right here, everybody, right before your very eyes, we have the candy cane. I need my candy cane stick though. Ah, here we go. Okay, here we go. A little cut, a little roll down on the end, and then a little bend. Let's all give a big round of applause for candy cane number 1, live and in color right there. From Logan, there you go, number 1. Now we do this process that you're watching well over 200 times in November and December. And by December 24th, we'll have made about 75,000 to 80,000 candy canes one at a time, just like you're watching right here. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel now. It's getting closer even as we speak. Okay, go ahead and put your hands down. We're going to cut you a nice warm sample, and we're going to bring it right out to you. Now this machine right here that Abby got out, this is one of the few machines that we use here at Logan's. This machine is about 80 years old. We've been using it here since 1933. We like to call it the crusher. And voila, we have samples. Voila, look at that. So this process continues on for about an hour as we start pulling it out. And we make about 75,000, 80,000 candy canes per year through the Christmas season. So we've got a lot of work cut out for us. And we usually have big crowds every night, kind of like you saw tonight. And like I said, it's just always amazing to me. Bye-bye, guys. Merry Christmas. Thank you, sweetie. Merry Christmas. Thanks for coming, you guys. Hope you had fun. Thank you. But as you can see, it's always amazing to see people, especially people that have seen it for the first time. It's always just amazing to see their faces as they watch the whole candy cane process. And, of course, trying the warp sample. That always sets it off for everybody. So.
Yeah, I really like them. 5 seconds, I lick it, and then the last 4, gone.
In my experience, anything that is homemade, handmade, or done the old-fashioned way is usually the best. The time, effort, and care they take to make always come out in the final product. If ever you get the chance to see what homegrown olives and from-scratch candy canes taste like, you add Ontario on your map of places and things to visit and see. Until next time, we hope you learn more, live more, and always stay in focus. Thanks for watching.